Satsang, we are covering Satsang practically so that you can apply that in your daily life. Satsang, we discussed. It's the company of the real. Company of the real must have a thought structure. Thought should be associated with right emotion. Emotion of attachment, no. Emotion that withdraws the mind within. So we have to be very mindful that this satsang has to be done daily without fail. When you are not in a session, you have to sit in the same way for an hour and you have to apply listening and learning, Mangalacharan, contemplation, followed by the practice. So if you are doing it without fail, you will see the result. There will be a discernment and dispassion, non-attachment will be there, and you will see that your life starts changing. That is why I told you Satsang Eastern Wisdom begins with you and for you. It begins with you. You wake up in the morning and your mind is surrounded by negativity, past impression, impulsive nature. Begins with you. You have to remember, you have to recall, and you have to put yourself into the shoes of the satsang. Instead of starting with you see, so whatever I'm saying, if you digest it, your intellect digests continuously. What happens? So first, one day you realize that instead of starting with a belief pending inquiry, we are of the nature of the real self, we start with a wandering mind. I have an agenda. We travel outside. I discuss in detail. We travel outside, but we wander inside. Okay, I will look into it. Oh, who will do this meditation? Who will remember these principles? So it is your wandering mind. You are wandering inside. That is where we discussed last time the handbrake metaphor. A handbrake metaphor, unexamined, unverified belief enters into my mind. I say, oh, I will do it later. No, let me not attend the session. I am busy. You see? So that comes because of the wandering mind inside. But why the wandering mind is there? Because we have an unexamined belief system which has been strengthened over years. You remember maybe 6 months ago, somebody didn't appreciate you and your mind is wandering there, and now you lose the practice. It will not work. So that is why it is the importance of the satsang is there. But before we go to that, let us start with the same practice. Eyes are closed. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. I believe until now you understand the meaning. You understand the meaning. May there be happiness for all. May there be peace for all. May there be completeness for all. May there be auspiciousness for all. This is the importance of the satsang. Satsang company. Basically, it is known as that you are listening to the teacher, or you are studying a text, or you are doing the repeat listening from the audio file. That is in a modern context. But why it is there? Because my mind is wandering inside. Why it is wandering? Because I have an unexamined, unverified belief. It returns to my mind. "Oh, I have an anxiety. No, what should I do? It's a bad morning. You know what? No, nothing is there. But consistent and continuous listening on the company of the real helps you to move there. And that is where we have started after the fourfold practices. So Mangalacharan sets a grateful tone. Now you see that you start traveling inside us. May there be happiness for all. You're not thinking of a guy who did not appreciate you last month. I'm just saying, belief pending inquiry. So gratitude transforms learning from the consumption to an aspiration. You seek not information but illumination. That is the beauty of the satsang. Why I continued listening to the master for 26 years. Sometime he was talking of the same topic. So until your unexamined belief present in the mind drops, when it drops, what happens? A grateful heart acts as a filter. And then your study of the Eastern wisdom becomes a blessing. That is what happens. Open your eyes. So we have to live into that mode, and it depends on us. That is why I said Eastern wisdom begins with you and for you. If it doesn't begin with you, say for example, if it begins with me, nobody would leave the session. You only leave the session because if you feel that it doesn't begin with you. So, you see that? Yes. How many times did you notice anxiety or complaints arising in your thought, speech, and action since the last session? Did you react impulsively, wandering inside? Or you had a pause, you observed, oh, it is an examined belief, and you change the course. How you change the course? Because you already have those principles in your head. What situation triggered these reactions, if there is any, or interactions and expectations or inner narrative? Did you apply the teaching? Did you remember? And if you applied, then what happened? Let us start sharing your experiences. Let me start with the Sami today.
Sir, I have been noticing that there is a switch inside us of happiness. Just it takes fraction of a second to press. It is just that you, if I am in sorrow or distress, they just I have to apply one principle or two principles just, and the whole atmosphere inside me changes instantly. And I am in happy. Suppose I am driving car or I am doing something. So it all depends on me whether I am in worry or I am in happiness. So as we keep on applying these principles, then the state of our mind starts remaining happy. For means the time changes. Suppose in 15 hours, 5 hours, I am in means sorrow. Now the time of happiness starts increasing, and the time of means unnecessary worries, they start becoming less. day by day. That is
Beautiful.
there.
I told you that is what you prove. Satsang's Eastern wisdom starts with you and for you because it changes your perception of yourself and the world outside. So the unexamined belief and impulsive nature drops. You are into a new level of awareness. Where it is already located in you. How are you, Stephen?
Sorry, thank you. I'm really good. Everything's been really good. And to expand on what Sumit just said, I realized I recognize a higher awareness, and and I'm constantly focusing in on inside myself and that place of peace and happiness. And because of the heightened awareness in any or situations that have risen in the last few days, um, I go back to myself, inside myself, and I said, yeah, I'm not going to react to that, or I'm not going to even think about that, because I am not going to allow you to disrupt my peace and happiness. And I just take it right back to that every time, and it just like a switch, it shuts off, and I just stay in that place. So thanks.
Beautiful. We are laying a very strong foundation for awakening. These are the practices and applied. I picked one sentence from one phrase from it, that let me start from within. So I start traveling within. I do not wander within. We seldom wander outside. Because if you start wandering outside, obviously, then we are really declared as a madman. But 99% of the people wander inside. We don't notice it. So yes, the day starts from within. Beautifully said. How are you, David?
Good, thank you. Yeah, I mean, our world is extremely busy right now. We've got a full house. We've got a wedding coming up that's going to be at our house on Saturday. So lots of work to get prepared, and lots of emotions and things relative to a wedding and a full house, and lots of people for dinner every night. So in a normal place, there'd be busy, stress, and everything, and I find myself just extremely peaceful, just going along for the ride and enjoying the ride, and finding it's a fun journey to be on.
Beautiful. One thing to understand, we can never be busy outside at all the time. They are known as the event, they come, they go. But if I'm fully busy inside, that causes the problem. And that comes from our impulsive nature, unverified belief, unexamined events, and that is what the unconscious, habitual and impulsive living, beautifully said. Yes, in spite of being busy outside, I am relaxed and calm. How are you there?
Very good, thank you. Yeah, similar to the three, just practicing every day and coming from that place of real self, the home of the self. And as things come up, as they will, and some will be, little speed bumps, and we have to kind of work our way through and understand and have space for people's emotions and things that, but they don't affect our peace. Yes. And in fact, more than that, you kind of bring your peace to that situation. So that's really helpful, because it's not like we have to avoid it. We see it, we're in it, but we don't have to identify with it to the way that would affect our peace or our happiness.
Beautifully, yes. Unexamined belief, unverified things, impulsive nature, duality, and its conflict. It means the mind is constantly wandering outside. Because of this wandering, it causes the attachment and identification. But when you start the day, oh, let me travel inside. And this is what exactly is the satsang. One master says even you consistently listening and learning for over years, and depending on your level of awareness, you start changing yourself. Yes, whosoever is young Christian, he should speak first.
I don't know. I will just guess. I think it's me.
Okay, that's good.
I have been in a very peaceful, calm state, even when I've experienced being around others that are at very different energies and levels of maybe stress or their own things. And I really find that I see that and I feel that in others. So that's the biggest practice for me, is being obviously in contact with other people with different energies. And I have just stayed composed. I guess composed would say the right word. And I haven't let myself go out of that boundary of peace. And I kind of have thought of it as like this like bubble that I've, surrounded myself with, because that's my peace that I'm protecting. And I'm just full of gratitude. So thank you for helping bring us to this.
You see, how you all share your experiences, you have to pay more attention to what others are sharing. Not only you start the day with your Mangala Charan and listening and learning and practice, but what she referred, that I see the peace in others. So when I see you all are manifestation of my master, how can I go against you? I may say something, but deep inside, that awareness has to be there that you are manifestations of my master and his presence. So that is another part. The moment you normally what happens, we wake up in the morning, mind starts wandering, oh my honey, he or she will do done. Finished the whole day. Are you, Dennis?
I'm fine, thank you. I didn't notice any challenges later in the minds of Clint session. Things have been quiet here. I do the practice every day, contemplate, reflect during the day, and this time. What I notice is that when the mind wants to get busy outside, wander outside, I just ask it, is it really important? And why is it important?
Yeah.
And that should helps my mind to remain inside, while at the same time doing everything that is required in the world.
This is belief pending inquiry. Belief is come, I should do this. Why should I do this? In the beginning, you may feel little uncomfort, but not, and it doesn't feel that. But even if you ask, why should I do this? I'll talk briefly about it. Today is the day for a longer meditation. I will delve a little deeper into that area that is also a part of the satsang. But before that, Christina, prego.
Thank you. Still getting so much out of hearing everyone sharing. I've noticed being able to switch from my different roles and duties with more ease, and trying to just land in one task or role and then move on to the next. And so there is that busyness, but more of a ability to drop in and be mindful and then shift.
Yes, that is another way to beautiful. It means the mind is not wandering inside. Mind has picked up the task, it is focused there, let me complete it and switch on to the other. So we are not busy. Think that you are fully busy. Do you eat the whole bread in one go? We don't look at those things. Okay, in 1 minute I have reached your house because I'm busy. Come on, if it takes 40 minutes, it may take 35 minutes, maximum 30 minutes. That perception is unverified, unexamined belief, and it causes their full busyness. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. Sir, it's like that's a continuous training of the mind. Like I have to accept that events keep on happening outside, but I must not lost at the event, but be available there. Like certain examples, like even if I'm playing with my daughter, then at that time also I should be available there, not thinking about my workplace that some task is pending.
Yeah.
If I keep on thinking that, then my mind will always be busy and will not be available in that moment.
Yes. Any activities, smaller to bigger activities, playing with the kids, I become also a player. I remember that I had a fascination for playing chess. Oh, you didn't know that. So I used to play chess with my son and with my also grandpa. And I always used to be defeated intentionally with my son so that he should take more interest. For me, it is a play, just a play and a fun. For him, it was winning or losing. And that helped him to learn more, sharpen his intellect. So it is just a part of this. Come back, satsang. We have done the first part, first lesson. There are many ways to talk about satsang. Eastern wisdom starts with you and begins with you and for you. Why? Another part of the satsang. Eastern wisdom says you are the diamond. Stop polishing paperweight. What it means? I've created the metaphor. You stop polishing the paperweight, you are the diamond. Diamond means you are the real nature. Paperweight means you are the body, senses, mind, intellect, ego, and the role. So we start polishing the paperweight. Paperweight means unverified belief, creates cult, dogma, blind belief that creates delusion, and delusion causes the suffering. If you don't believe them, then analyze and reflect. Every event, like I'm just using the opposite: marriage and divorce, rich and poor, attachment and detachment, morning stress, anxiety, disturbed sleep. You want to sleep, but mind overthinks. So why I use the word polishing? You stop polishing your partner too much. Stop polishing your friend, your enemy, your events, your situations. Are you understanding? You have to stop polishing. Krishna Ragu, are you writing? Good. It's a very important point. We spend a lot of time making people happy. This is what the polishing is. Correct events, relationships, without removing the delusion there. I don't want to remove the delusion inside me, and I want to make you happy. Ask yourself what happened. Delusion causes the wandering. My mind is wandering outside, inside. Let me give a blow to our impulsive mind. Imagine you own 100-carat diamond and using it as a paperweight on unpaid bills. You are using 100-carat diamond and using it as a paperweight on unpaid bills. Here are 100-carat diamonds. What we say, oh, my life has no sparkle, there is no peace, I am very busy, I have a lot of things. Eastern wisdom smiles and says, your mind is not broken. It is just using a diamond as a paperweight and then complaining about the stationery. I have to. Well, this statement, let us examine this statement. Belief pending inquiry. We are laying a very strong foundation so that we can move to the next state of higher awareness. If we don't do it, if we don't clear this mind from this attachment, from the unverified belief, then impulsive nature will continue. You have to remember. Again, I am using, and then I will take up in detail about this topic. 100-carat diamond, you are using it as a paperweight on unpaid bills. Is the sheer ignorance. I am of the nature of peace and happiness. I become the diamond. I don't think so. I'm already stressing. And already you are sitting at home and giving a talk because I have to do a lot of things. Still you are talking of the unverified thing. We all are uniquely placed. The diamond is the real self. Paperweight is the body, senses, mind, intellect, ego, roles. So I have to apply the discernment and dispassion. So when I apply the discernment and dispassion, the moment I wake up in the morning, and it continues throughout the day. You are busy and still you are not busy. Suffering comes from the ignorance and belief, not from the events. Suffering comes from ignorance and unverified belief. It doesn't come from the event. A guy doesn't appreciate you. This is an event. So I have an unverified belief that you will always appreciate me. Unverified, unexamined belief. And that is the cause of the suffering. And that is the cause of your busyness, your anxiety, my story, mental health, lot of things. What is that? Meditation is basically, I'm using the word to make you understand. I'm using, and it comes from one master in a different way, but I'm giving an interpretation. Meditation is basically a surgery of your unverified belief, your impulsive nature, your habitual tendencies. We are not fighting with any one of them. We are just doing, let us do the surgery. Let us do the surgery why I don't like you. For example, why I hate you. Let me do this. This is my belief. So let me do the surgery. So after the surgery, I said, oh, crazy mind, you are made up of likes and dislikes. Something you like and something you dislike. I don't follow you. You follow me. The last point is very important. That Eastern wisdom starts with a personal responsibility. Personal, my responsibility, not yours, not the world outside. I have to be responsible to myself, then the journey begins. Otherwise, the journey doesn't begin. Close your eyes. We'll have a longer practice today. The stage number one. Stage number one, we awaken to a discerning mind and we bypass the default mind. The step number one, you adjust and align in a modern way. In an American way, it align your body and adjust. So I simply use the word place, position, and posture. Why? It raises your self-awareness, my awareness, my discernment, my wisdom. Instead, my busyness, my anxiety, my reaction. Understanding knowledge plus practice. Self-awareness begins with recognizing your real self as the witness, and that is where we are moving. It comes by listening, learning, contemplation, reflection. So place, position and posture is like a lamp in a dark room. Awareness illuminates what was unconscious. Oh, I was habitual and unconscious of the body, now I have adjusted. Presence, I use another word for it. Being comfortable, the second step. Turning the mind inward, I said. Turning the mind, changing the direction. Whether you say turning the mind inward and changing the direction, can you check? Is your mind looking inside or did it change the direction? You may have a lot of thoughts of the world outside and you say, no, I will look inside. Even by thought you say that is okay in the beginning. Gradually it will take care of you. So you are moving the mind on the entire skin of the body and experiencing sensation, relaxation, sorry, and stillness and steadiness. You have to check yourself when you are doing on your own, consciously moving inward. And then we move to being carefree. Now I say it easily. It is an observer and observed means what you become aware where your mind is engaged. In the past, unverified belief, thought pertaining to your partner or your job or your wealth or your husband or your wife, you just become aware. Mind, you are engaged in these thoughts and feeling and emotions. The more and more you are aware of it, you'll be able to separate, discern. Here comes the role of uparama, uparati, samadama, uparati. Means you have a sense of freedom from dependence on external things. Especially in the practice of meditation, you have a cognition. You are separate and different from everything, every person, every event. Dependence, freedom from independence. Freedom from dependence means independence. That is the key to the witness consciousness. And there we experience a sense of sama, dhamma, uparama. And if any thought is there which is pulling you, causes the wandering, you don't pay attention. They are still coming, but you don't pay attention. There is a calmness, there is a resilience, there is an endurance in practice, in experience. Now I will teach him a lesson. No, you tell the mind, okay, I will teach the lesson after this session. Mind, don't bring it. Okay. Because you have prepared the ground, and when you repeat Mangala Charan mantra, it leads to a greater resilience and equanimity. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu, sarvesham chantir bhavatu, sarvesham purnam bhavatu, sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. May there be peace for all. May there be happiness for all. May there be completeness for all. May there be auspiciousness for all. And soon after the Mangala Charan, we have the 6 neighbors. So this week, can you contemplate and reflect on this? That why we have a Mangala Charan, we say, may there be peace for all. And now we say, the first neighbor, I'm not the first neighbor. Do you see the seemingly contradiction? We don't allow the mind to stand on any ground of impulsive nature, habitual nature, instinctive nature. We are opening, we are purifying. So there's 6 neighbors in you. The outermost neighbor is the world outside. Why it is a neighbor? Anything that is different and separate from your body, including your honey, your partner, your son, your kid, your car, etc. They are separate from you. And it causes most of the problem. So I have to discern that it is separate from me, it is not me. It is separate from me, it is not me. Second neighbor is the body. Body, I am. Am I the body? No, I'm not the body. Body contains the 2 challenges, the birth and the death, unverified belief. We don't know what is birth and what is death. Third neighbor is the energy, hunger and the thirst. So hunger and thirst, because it is the nourishment of the prana. And this prana impulsively fought by the fear of not having. That is why we are deeply attached to the wealth, possession, etc. So it starts with the prana, the third neighbor. And the root cause is my hunger and thirst. Hunger and thirst. Fourth neighbor, mind. Strong likes and dislikes. Not strong attachment and detachment here. And the fifth neighbor has a strong likes and dislikes. Because likes and dislikes has to be understood at the intellect level with the plus ego. And the sixth neighbor is the ignorance. In our tradition, we only talk of the 5 neighbors, Panch Kosha, the 5 sheets. Intentionally, I added 1 for the sake of understanding, but it comes from the same principle as taught by our master. So now, beyond all the 6 neighbors, the real self is there. Even for 5 minutes, couple of times every day, you remember these 6 neighbors and you just ask the mind, what is beyond that? Why? What is beyond that? Because all the six neighbors are changing. What is changing cannot be me. And from there we move to the stage number 2. You're living in a present moment with the breath awareness. Breath awareness, you're looking at the breath. No change in the rate, in the rhythm of the breath. And feeling the sensation of the breath. And now look deep inside your heart in the center and start breathing long, deep in the hissing breath into your rib cage. Long, deep in the hissing, pay attention. You are maintaining sensation, comfort, and steadiness. In that state, you are breathing into the rib cage, and focus deep inside the heart. No worries, we have a longer practice. Continue long, deep in the hissing breath. When you do the hissing breath, both your nostrils opened up. Did you notice that? Or you start noticing now. Continue long, deep in the hissing breath. You are aware and attentive. You are aware that your rib cage expands and squeezes with every breath inside and outside. And now return to the normal breathing pattern, the flow of the breath, equal or not, it's okay, you just notice that. And one day you'll find, because of these 3 breathing practices, the moment you think of equal breath, it becomes equal. It looks very odd, but that is the key. I'll tell you the story about one master I met and I lived with him in the next session. So now focus deep inside the belly button and you start breathing long, deep in the hissing breath into your belly. So belly expands while breathing in, inhalation. Belly expands, exhalation, the belly squeezes and touches the spine. So it's a longer breath. Or you can say, longer breath, it takes a little more time than the chest breathing. Chest breathing is very near to our nostrils as compared to your belly. I'm just making a metaphor to help you understand and do the breathing correctly. Long, deep in the hissing breath. We are just doing today 2.5 minutes each breath. You will see the difference even if you complete all the 3 types of the breathing and then all the 4 types of Om Shanti in a different format. It changes our perception. Means unverified belief, impulsive nature, duality and a conflict, they start dissolving. Long, deep in the hissing breath into your belly. The whole body is in the state of comfort and steadiness except the movement of the belly. Also suggested that it is better to do all the 3 minutes of breathing, all the 3 breathing, before you switch on to the audio file and you repeat it again. You will find more deeper state in the beginning. Gradually we will leave this practice also. Now you leave, return to the breath. Just check your breath, slow the breath. Breath is going in and out, feeling the sensation, no change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. And now focus deep inside or look deep inside the forehead in the space. And now start breathing long, deep in the hissing. First into the belly, then into the rib cage. 1 breath. Then breathe out, exhale from the belly and then the rib cage. What we normally say, yogic breathing. But in yogic breathing, we have a deep, silent and slow breathing. We don't force. Here we are forcing. First you inhale into the belly, expands, chest expands, belly squeezes, chest squeezes while breathing out. Long, deep and the hissing breath. We need to train our lungs. Again, don't take it in a different way. Metaphorically, when we say you first inhale into the belly, means you fill the air into your lower lobes of the lungs. And then the upper lobes of the lungs means the expansion of the rib cage. Many researchers started arguing that how you can breathe into your belly. So continue long, deep in the hissing breath, both into the belly and the rib cage. Now leave this, return to the flow of the breath, normal flow of the breath, 3-pointed attention on the breath. you start inhaling and exhaling, deep, silent, and slow. This time the breath has to be very deep, very slow and silent as you inhale, moving the mind from the top center of the head into the spine, reaching to the tailbone, with singing mentally Om Shanti. And while exhaling, you're moving your mind from the tailbone to the top center of the head. Both inhalation and exhalation, you are singing Om Shanti mentally. Mental Om Shanti, as if you are dropping Om Shanti on the movement of the mind on the spine. Because mind has to play with lot of things, it has to assess the movement, straight movement from the top center of the head to the tailbone, movement of the mind, Om Shanti. It helps to withdraw the mind from very strong impulsive nature. The result is that we start feeling lot of sensations around the spine. Nothing of mysticism, but yes, vital important. So we started with Om Shanti, even though I have placed this into the stage number 2. But we are breathing also, so and now return to the normal awareness of the breath. Find attention of the breath where you do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. So you have the 3-pointed attention on the breath. Breath is flowing naturally. You feel the sensation. You're not changing the rate of the breath. And every breath going in, you drop Om Shanti. Very, very small, The breath is short, so non-verbally you drop Om Shanti. As if you see the Om Shanti written in the screen of your mind, and it is placed on the breath going in, it is placed on the breath coming out. That is the means Pashyanti. Normally all comes under one heading, Japa, but Pashyanti Japa is very subtle. So I've added 2 Pashyanti Japa to help our mind to evolve. This is the one. Continue. On Mondays, we have a longer practice. And now, with the same flow of the breath, instead of paying attention on the flow of the breath, we pay attention to the 16 segments of the fingers. And so you start dropping Om Shanti on the 16 segments of the fingers. We already discussed, it may be longer, shorter, depending on the mood and the state of your mind. So we don't argue and react to the mood of the mind. We follow that mood. It may say Om Shanti. Even in 50 minutes, you cannot complete even the 16 segments because Om Shanti with the breath is so long. And sometimes you do it faster, but mind is calm. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. More or less, there are 21 steps in this meditation, which you don't feel like because we move from one stage to the other with a complete engagement of the mind. And if there is a complete engagement of the mind, obviously we are going deeper. So the breath is already normal. You look inside now, the heart. Visualize the equilateral triangle of any color pointing upward. And then you move your mind on each side of the triangle, clockwise, anti-clockwise, dropping on Shanti. Even if there is a sync, and you in sync, your attention will be deeper. Continue. So that is the last step of the stage 3. We find that sync, and now is the time to push your mind singing deep mentally, and mind seemingly stops, you drop Shanti. So in the stage 4, you are more aware of the happening. Your level of awareness and attention is at the peak, where you notice what is happening. You're not doing anything. You are a knower. You're not a doer. Pay attention. In the first 3 stages, more or less, we are knower and the doer both. But in the 4th stage, no doership is lost. Doership, 5th neighbor, I-ness. So we give a safe passage to the mind to go up. After Shanti, yes, happening is there. A lot of vision, colors, and images, they appear and they disappear. You just witness them. That we have already understood in the third step of the stage one, observer and observe. So it is more clear here, and we want to know who is this, who am I, who is the observer. But at the same time, we are also the part of the happening. So that is not an issue. You can stay in meditation for a longer period, experiencing where you experience and observe, they remain outside. I'm not speaking so that you are not disturbed. So you can also chant loudly or mentally, whatever you think. That is the first stage. Try. You are activating and recognizing Sama and Dhamma both. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences, bring the hands down. We'll start sharing our experiences now. How are you, David and Jerry?
Very good, sir. Extremely deep, extremely peaceful, dark, quiet. The odd thought came up and it was observed and let go. So thank you.
Beautiful. Yes, how are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. Very settled in meditation. Really nice, no objections at all from the mind. One thing came up for the japa, the that you spoke about, I think the first time I've heard it. So I was curious that I would like to know more about that.
Yeah. So in the beginning, when I say Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, this is known as the Vaikhari. I'll go in detail about the meaning of the Vaikhari later. The first one, the spoken. And the second is known as the Madhyama. Om Shanti. It is neither too high pitch, too low pitch. So that, we are able to withdraw our senses inside. The third is Pashyanti Japa. Pashyanti means to see. So, Om Shanti, you see, it is written on the screen of your mind. So now I will stop here. When you just do Om Shanti and you always see it, whether it is eyes open or closed, at least for a week, your mind will drop anxiety completely. Reaction and busyness, you will find the mind is inside. That is the power of the Pashyanti Japa. Then we have Vaikhari, Madhyama, Pashyanti, Mansik. And then we have Ajapa, the 5 layers of the Japa. We'll talk in detail about it. How are you, Janice?
Deep meditation, the breathing was seamless. There were some sensations in the spine and then in the fingers during the japa. And then after triangle, just dark, peaceful space, no disturbances.
Beautiful. Yes. Yes, that emptiness is beautiful. Christina Rago.
Thank you. Just noticed a calm, peaceful meditation. I did notice the wandering mind start and anxiety started to rise, and then I could come back and that let that go.
Yes. Cognition of that anxiety during the practice of meditation is the third step in a deeper way, observer and observed. I noticed, this is not me. Finish. Anxiety is gone. Beautiful. How are you, Stephen?
Thank you, sir. It was a very good meditation. Settled into it right away, and it was quiet and seamless. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. How are you, young Christina? Why you are young? We are also young.
Exactly. Everybody's
Yeah.
and we're all full of light. And I had a very deep meditation. It went by super quick, and it just felt. I had the thoughts come in the beginning, and I wanted to like write some stuff down because I was like, oh, what if I forget? But then of course, right now I'm like, oh, yep, I remember those 3 things that popped in my head that seemed so important that I was able to drop it and just settle right in. So thank you.
Beautiful. You see that how you all share the cognitive ability to drop. I have a cognition, and I say, not me, finished, and it is done. I remain absorbed. Or even when you say I'm totally absorbed, that is also a cognition. Christina Rago, you don't have only the right to use the word cognition. We also have a right. No modern cycle. How are you, Sami?
Sir, I was totally aware and no disturbance were there. And it was very smooth, easy and relaxed.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That is what we should have. And Vaibhav.
Thank you, sir. So mind became really calm. Like when I see as an observer, then the attachments dropped. And then when I see that what is the default state of mind, that is also dropped. It became clear. The impressions became clear. So it was very calm.
Beautiful. Beautiful, yes. That's there is a deeper insight into it. The default mind also drops. When the default mind drops, there is an emptiness. Beautiful. Thank you very much for sharing, and we'll meet again. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.